Okay, so I have been trying to figure out if I wanted to follow through with doing this hair channel. I have to tell you honestly, I was torn because I was like, there's so much going on in the world, and am I being superficial? It's like there's so much needed to build the inside of ourselves. And here Vera's coming along and doing the hair, doing the outside, fixing the facade. And I'm like, okay, is that like putting efforts into something that really has no import? And then I started to think, I was like, okay, what were the reasons that you initially wanted to do a hair channel? And initially the reason was that I wanted our sisters to realize that changing the way we wear our hair is not just something we've done because we think it looks good, but what would but what I wanted people to realize was that there's something greater than just you having wanting a different style. There's something greater than that, and it's a force that is encompassing the world, where our sisters everywhere are getting rid of the perms and just going natural. And it can't just be that we're into styles or anything like that. There's something greater and something bigger, and it's that energy. It's the Most High, and in order for us to find ourselves, little did we know that we had to first embrace ourselves. And the way that we embraced ourselves was to embrace all that is us, the way that we were made, and we were wonderfully made, but we didn't know that. And because of that, we were empty inside, so we kept putting this gook on ourselves to cover the pain that we felt inside. But now the Father is awakening within us a spirit that is like bringing us back to ourselves, and we are becoming alive. Our hair is almost like a plant that you just keep watering it and you nurturing, and that plant starts from a little tiny shoot and it starts to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And guys, our hair is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because now the Father is teaching us how to love ourselves. And I've never seen sister's hair grow the way that it is growing now. And that's a blessing. The curse is being lifted phenomenally. It's being lifted. And because we're embracing it, now we're seeing the beauty that was always there. I saw pictures from the Grammys, I think it was. I'm not sure if that's the movie award show or not, but a couple of sisters had natural hair and elegant gowns, and they looked beautiful. There were, I could see the envy on people's faces just looking at them, and one sister had a huge afro and a gown, and she was just beautiful, and I was so happy to see that, and I know that it's going to start a trend. And because of that, I know that different companies are going to start to find ways that they can capitalize off of it. And I'm going to tell you guys, we allow them to capitalize off of our ignorance. We cannot allow them to further capitalize off of our awakening. We have been brought back to ourselves, which means within us is the ability to create natural products for ourselves that will nourish our hair and make it grow like a plant. And it is, and we are doing it. No more will I spend $60 a pop going into the Korean market and giving them my money when I never even got a thank you every time I shop. Why was I giving them my money? So now that my hair is natural, I went in the store for the last time last year with my hair natural and let them look at me. And I let them look at me, and they knew, if I didn't verbalize it, they knew that I was there and that no longer could they profit off of my ignorance. So why don't you all make the same gesture, you know, let them know that now you know who you are and that no longer are you going to allow them to exploit you. Because we've been exploited. I'm sorry. We have been exploited. And we were so asleep that we played a part in the game. The game is up and the gig is up. And I see sisters that are natural walking down the street, and it's amazing because we look at one another and we have this camaraderie where we look and we're like, I'm like, she gets it. And they're looking at me the same way, like, she gets it, you know? And I don't get it completely, but I'm getting there, you know? I'm getting there. So once we lift the curse that's been put on our heads and put on ourselves, we're going to be blessed. And little by little, we start to learn more of what it means and how much it's connected to our Father, to the higher points of ourselves. And no one will ever be able to bring us back to that point again. I had this guy, and I really didn't want to share this story. I didn't, this happened months ago, and I didn't want to share this story because, I don't want the animosity or the bickering back and forth. If somebody writes something negative to me on my channel or whatever, I don't respond. It's like, why bother? And if I know it's not true, why am I internalizing whatever anyone says? But I'm going to mention this for the point of the video. This guy writes me, a white guy, he's a Christian guy. And he wrote on my page on a video, I forget which video, he writes, you used to be so pretty and gorgeous and you had long hair and now you're nappy headed and you're ugly. Yeah, that's what he said. So I wasn't upset. I laughed and I was like, I, I laughed because I was like, we're going to make people angry. We're going to make people angry. Why? Because we, with our hair, we are showing them that we no longer deem them credible, and no longer will we go by their definition of who we are or what we should be. You see, when you walk down the street with hair like this, or your natural hair, however you do it, you are sending subliminally a message saying that you embrace yourself and that not what a magazine says or the pictures that it presents, you no longer embrace that. That is what you were telling them. And their walls are tumbling down and their security is tumbling down because as long as we stay that way, then they feel secure in the strategies that they have set up. And, whites are the victim as well because they've been trained to think this way. And that's why he wrote what he wrote to me. He's ignorant, On the flip side of that, though, I was in the store and there was a white English girl, and she was young, in her 20s, and she walked up to me and she said, your hair is beautiful. And she's like, I wish that my hair would do what your hair does. She's like, I really, really wish it would. And it just said a whole lot. It said so much. So sisters, embrace your hair, wear it and let the world know that we're awakening. The sleeping giant is awakening. Keep your money in the community. Start your own hair product stores. Buy from natural black-owned businesses. And if they're too expensive, use olive oil, use coconut oil, water, shea butter. Those are the 3 things that I use. Nothing special. I don't use anything special. Use those things and your hair will grow, because not only because of what you're putting on it, but because your thoughts have changed. You see, this is the soil right here for your hair. And if your soil is healthy, then your hair will be healthy. So embrace it, enjoy it, and love it. And everyone else will love it. Okay. So I'll be back. I won't do tutorials, I don't think, but I might blabber a bit because I do that a lot. But thank you guys. May all your efforts bless you. And I just wanted to say really quick, I have one, two, three, four sisters, and three of my sisters are they're going natural. So I'm so proud of them, and they're they cut off the long perm hair, and that took a lot of courage, you know. But I'm not alone, and obviously I'm not alone because I got you guys. So stay healthy, stay clear-headed, stay awake, and like I said, do not allow them to capitalize off of your awakening. Shalom and barakatah. Bye.